The LVT, if you still don't know, is the earliest amphibious vehicle you can see in the game. This is why it looks that weird. Actually, this model, the LTA1, you can classify it as an IFV. And that is because the LVT chassis is the chassis that was intended to carry soldiers. And adding this 37mm gun in the turret that looks pretty similar to some Stuart turrets, that makes it an infantry fighting vehicle, which is really nice. Think that the Americans had IFVs during World War II. Had IFVs during World War II. No way I survived a hit from that. But you saw it. You saw it. My LVT has survived a hit from the Sturmpanzer. Anyways, though the LVT being an IFV is quite impressive, don't think it was from the beginning of World War II. Because if this thing had to be thrown into the BR, it deserves by the historical matter, well, I don't think playing the LVT at 5.7 is that fun. As for the LVT's performance, the main advantage of the LVT is its survivability. Because of its big size and all of the space inside of the tank, it is quite hard to take it out in one shot. That means that you have an advantage in a time when most tanks are really unsurvivable. In addition, it also has its ammo stored in the bottom of the rear hull. That means that the ammo is quite safe and will almost never cause the tank to explode. Not only that, the ammo itself is quite good. The gun is the American 37mm gun, capable of firing good AP shells that maybe don't do as much damage as APHE, but are still quite lethal and can penetrate through most enemy armor. In addition to that, the tank also has 3 low caliber machine guns that are next to useless unless you fight infantry. The mobility of the LVT might seem bad because it doesn't have a lot of engine power and it seems like quite a big tank. Its top speed is only 40 kph and the reverse speed is quite low at 5 kph. Does that mean it is really not mobile? No, and that is because it has a high power to weight ratio. It is quite light despite its big size, and with such a light weight, you can actually go to your top speed in just a few seconds. And yes, the reverse is quite annoying, but it doesn't really matter because you will anyway survive most shots, and that means that the tank can simply charge its enemies careless. The IKV-72 is a vehicle I personally used to grind a lot of tanks from Sweden. It is exceptionally good at doing one thing and exceptionally bad at doing anything else. And since I personally was really bad in doing that one thing, I used this vehicle to train myself in doing that. The thing is that I mained the USSR before the addition of Israel to the game, which meant I never got to play any vehicle with good gun depression. And I almost never got to play any vehicle that is mainly used as a sniper. And since IKV-72 is only used as a sniper and does it really good, I used it to make myself more used to sniping. Of course, I found myself a lot of the time just doing stupid things like charging the enemy with the IKV, which almost never ended up well, because yes, the IKV has got a great armament, a 75mm cannon that can throw IS-2 level of damage APHE rounds on the enemy, but the reload isn't great for LOTR at around 7 seconds with a stock crew, and in addition to that, the armor is non-existent. It also does not have a turret. So defending a position like a capture point or assaulting a position like a capture point is nearly impossible to perform well in this vehicle. It is also quite a bad flanker due to the lack of a good reload and a turret. So instead, this vehicle is focused on sniping, and it is one of the best snipers at low tier, by far. It has a great gun, with a gun depression of minus 20 degrees and gun elevation of plus 20 degrees. It can hide behind pretty much anything. It has a really nice camouflage coming with the vehicle itself, and in addition to that, it is quite low profile. Even the two foolish crew members putting their heads out of the vehicle are not such a big issue when you snipe your enemy with damaging APHE or highly penetrating AP from a far distance, especially if you are hull down behind a hill. So yeah, this vehicle has only one use: utilizing the great mobility to get as quickly as possible to a good sniping position in the beginning of the match, and then this vehicle has got to snipe out as many enemies as possible, because, you know, eventually planes or artillery or enemy fire will just eat alive this poor little pathetic sniper thing. But before it is eaten, it can deal a serious amount of damage to the enemy team, highly affecting its... Oh, thank you for overpressuring me. Anyway, yeah, a great vehicle. For one thing. Anyway, if you watched War Thunder content creators before, you probably know this thing as the Death Trumpet, for a reason. It looks like trumpet, and it really makes people die. A lot of people. It is a Swedish self-propelled recoilless rifle at a blistering caliber of 150 millimeters. It is extremely strong at a battle range of 1.7. It fires only one shell, HE. And this HE shell got so much explosive mass that it doesn't matter where you hit your enemy, in 99% of the occasions, they are dead. They are more dead than Biden's campaign. This vehicle is really funny. It has a lot of serious flaws, like the long reload being around 17 seconds, and the open cabin that allows artillery, HE, heat, and planes to annihilate you within seconds, and the bad gun depression. But the overall frontal armor is not bad at all, and the ability to kill anything and everything the moment you hit it is really nice. Oh, and the biggest flaw of this vehicle, it is really hard to aim at your enemy. You need to range find it, then throw it right. No, you ruined it. Yeah, your shell is quite slow and hard to aim. Hey, stop! Never mind. And you also don't have a turret. And that's another probe. Oh my goodness. This is like what, 400? No. I am running away from here. Yeah, frontally it is quite a lot more survivable than you would ever think it would be. It has some serious downsides, but overall it's a great vehicle. Just don't play it if you are not skilled. The M22 Locust is one of the most famous and popular vehicles in LOTR and in the entire game. What makes it so popular? Well, maybe its small size and its quite kind of cute appearance, especially when it has some eyes. It is also quite fast and doesn't have such bad protection. It doesn't have any good survivability, but it is immune to 50 calls from the front, which at the battle rating of 2.0 is really nice. Its speed allows it to be everywhere whenever it needs to be, even behind enemy lines. It has a really nice gun, the US-37, which is not the best of all LOTR guns, but clearly is not the worst. It fires solid AP and also SAPHE that doesn't have a lot of penetration, but can do a surprising amount of damage. The reaction times are really nice, especially the reload, and the tank is overall really easy to play. So yeah, it's quite popular for some good reasons. Now its cousin, the M3 Stuart, is a little less mobile, but has slightly better protection and a little more machine guns, which is really nice because there are some open tops in this tier that will be able to be destroyed using those machine guns. And also planes don't like when a spray of vertical bullets fly through the pilot's head. The protection of the M3 Stuart, despite not being ideal, is still really nice. In comparison to other LOTR vehicles, it is actually good. And when you consider the armament, well, it's the same as for most US LOTR tanks, of course, the famous 37mm gun, but this time with no SAPHE, which is not that bad, but it's a shame it doesn't have it. The mobility of the M3 Stuart is still quite good. It can move around with ease, and it has a low speed stabilizer that allows it to fire on the move when on low speed, and immediately stabilize the gun when stopping. This tank is quite a jack of all trades. It doesn't excel at doing one thing, but it really enjoys a lot of advantages in pretty much any term of fighting War Thunder. In real life, it had to fight tanks like the Panzer IV-H, the Stug 3G, and even a Tiger, so I don't think it was a really good tank in real life, but thankfully in War Thunder you don't need to do that, so yeah, it's a really nice tank. If you are trying to start the US LOTR and grind up the entire tech tree, the M3 Stuart is a really good tank to start with, and the M22 is even better. I personally recommend using the M22 in your first spawn and then using the M3 Stuart as your second. The M8 HMC is one of my favorite LOTR vehicles. It holds a 75mm howitzer, capable of firing HE, which is quite useless, hit, which is really nice and has almost 19 meters of penetration, and smoke shells. The reload rate is around 4 seconds, which is really nice for the caliber, and it also has a 50 caliber machine gun to complete your fine collection of weaponry.
A fine addition to my collection.
It is also quite a mobile vehicle, being based on the M5A1 Stuart. It holds enough horsepower and a light enough weight to move around with ease, with a mobility similar to this of a BT7. In terms of protection, yes, it is an open top, so it is quite sensitive to planes, artillery, and machine guns, but the overall frontal armor is quite nice. In this LOTR, the frontal armor can actually deflect a lot of shots, surprisingly. So as long as you avoid any opponent that can overpressure you, you actually have quite a good amount of armor, allowing you to bounce some shots. And now, the really bad thing about this vehicle, the really big downside, is not about protection. It's about the turret's rotation speed.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Being so bad that you usually just turn it with your hull like a regular tank destroyer. There is just no reason to try and do it by using regular turret method. And yes, as you just saw, your 50 cal can destroy tanks quite easily. Kaboom! I like destroying Germans so much. It's so satisfying to just deflect their moves and... Ooh. Hello there! Overpressure. Yeah. That is really nice. Anyways, yeah, this vehicle is great. You just need to beware and not let the enemy utilize your downside of the slow turret rotation speed, because it's quite a massive downside. And it will get you killed sometimes. Yeah, a really fun vehicle.